Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me this morning for this pop-up live trading session. We're going to jump right in and talk about the markets here. We have another up day this morning with the ES almost up 1%. The NASDAQ leading the way again at, let me see, I keep hitting the wrong thing this morning. Let me get that squared away here. We have the NASDAQ that is up quite a bit this morning, over 1.5%. We have the Russell that's lagging this morning. It's only up almost a 0.5%. Let's jump over to this account here and let's talk about a few things. We have oil that's up this morning a little bit, and the position that we have on, we originally had on a call spread, and we had it got threatened. Actually, it was a put spread first, and that got threatened, and then we added this call side to move the put side some, and we are up a little bit since that adjustment, and so that's good. We're going to let that bake a little bit more. It's about 30 days to go. We have this ES position here, as you can see, that expires in 3 days. We took some of it off yesterday. We had on two short put spreads and one call spread. We took off the put spread and the call spread as an iron condor, and then today it looks like it's time to take this off. It's fluctuating between 50%, so it's only 3 days to go. I know it's quite a bit ways away, but it's still appropriate to look to try to take this off now. If we look at this here, just in case we have some type of ridiculous down move in the next couple of days, I do not expect that, and we'll be shocked if that's the case, especially during a expiration week and with the Fed talking tomorrow. I do not think we're going to have that type of move, but you never know, because we still overbought, in my opinion. So I'm going to look to close this out, and we're going to close this out, and it's going to cost about 34. I mean, it's not going to cost. We're going to get about 50% if we get filled at that. We have a position on in 31 days here. I'm looking to add a put spread in this just to offset this a little bit, just in case we continue to go up. I'm going to add one put spread and keep another contract over here, because there's two contracts here. Keep another contract to be able to adjust the call side if we need to adjust the call side, but expecting to be in this trade hopefully with 15 to 16 days to no longer than 16 to 15 days more in this trade. All right, so I'm looking to sell the 15 delta here. Let's look at this here. This is one of the 15 deltas. Let's go with this one here and do a 20-point wide. When I trade between the 10 and the 15, I do nothing wider than a 20-point wide, and same with stock options. All right, so if we look at this here, we're getting almost $20, almost $100 after fees and commissions. The buying power effect is somewhat insignificant. And let me just do a little adjusting here and see what happens if we did that at the 9 delta, and instead of a 20-point wide, we did a 30-point wide. See what that looks like. All right, so that is, the buying power effect is less, but I'm getting less capital. So I'm actually going to be a little bit more aggressive and go back to that 15 delta and sell the 31.30. Only reason I'm not selling the 31.35 is because I want to make sure that this is going to be 5 points. You have 5-point increments all the way down, just in case I have to adjust this. And it looks like that's the case. So I can actually go to this 31.35 and do a 20-point wide spread. And then, so with that said, let's look at that. That'll give me $100 after fees and commissions if I get filled at the 215. So let's see if we can get filled at the 215 price. Hopefully that will be the case. this is the ES for the back month, or the month that we were just looking at, this 31 days, just the call side. It's down now because we've had 2 big up days, but that's fine. If you can look at this delta, we'll go over there really quickly. We look at this delta here, we see that this delta is just a 13. So we're actually adding the put side to the 15 delta. So we're going to get a little long, well, we're still going to be short because it's going to be 2 to 1. All right, so this is the natural gas position. We have adjusted this a couple times, and we are winning at this point on the adjustments. And you can see that we're exactly at 50% here. We made 220, and it's 220 to be made. Still, it's 10 days to go. When we look at the deltas here, we're at the 11 delta on the put side, and we're currently at the 17 delta on the call side. And let me see if we break this down, where's the profit coming from? This is a lot of that coming from there. This call spread is the closest one. It's losing on that one. We're going to let that sit. This call spread right here is not very much left in it. So let's see if we took that off, what it would do to buying power. All right, so it's not doing anything, so I'm going to leave it. All right, and then if we go over to this Russell here, we have the this Russell is up about 23, 24%. It's 31 days to go. If we look to kind of offset it a little bit, I'm just going to see what it does to buying power. I think the Russell seems a little weak, and I don't feel like in the next few weeks it's going to go up quite a bit. So let's just look at this, the 1675 strike, sell that, and let's look at a 20-point wide spread. So that is the 1695. Looking at that, it's going to require some buying power. I don't want to do that at this point until, if it didn't require any buying power, I would probably do it. I don't want to do it now until if the put side gets threatened, then I'll do it. We'll just let that sit. Looking at this QQQ position, it's in the money and it's only 3 days to go. I'm looking to probably just take these off and lock in the loss. The max you can lose is 200 after it's a 2-point wide spread, so the most you can lose is 200. So if we put this in right now, we're going to instead of max loss, which is basically max loss, if we can get filled at this. I doubt it. Let's see what it's jumping around to. Let's go to the working orders here. It's probably going to force you to, I'm going to put it in at 93 and just let this sit as well. See if we can get filled at that. But that doesn't look good. That doesn't look great. All right, so this is this rental trade that we were doing. It just dropped. It was up a little bit. It was up over like 30% just a few minutes ago when I was looking at this. So it's dropped a little now. That's fine. I wanted to go and look at that square that we were looking at last night that I believe Rick recommended. Robert also talked about doing a 11-day. It's now 10 days. Let's look at that and see what Square is doing this morning. So I'm going to check this really quickly. I don't know what I did to this chart, but I'm going to have to fix it. Let's go back there. There we go. All right. So that is Square is up this morning, and let's see. So we got filled in something. All right, so that ES position to take off got filled. So we're done with the put spread with 3 days to go because the market just jumped back up. So with this trade that we were trying to do with the add that put spread, we're going to have to get a little more aggressive and see if we can get filled. Let's cancel that for a second, and I want to get filled in that ES while we're on this call. 31 days to go, and let's see if we can get to, let's go back to the 15 delta here, see if that 15 has changed a little. Unfortunately, it has not. So it looks like we're going to be stuck with that, and we're not going to get the $100 that we want. Let's try to see if we go like this. trying to see if it's fooling us here on the mid here. So I'm going to try one more time with this. I don't want to go higher than the. All right, so they got me on that one. So that's the 200. Let's just say we got about $90, and I'm going to take some of that $90, and I'm going to do a hedge here, and we're going to go into the SPY, and that was 31 days to go, and we want to hedge I'm going to actually do it a little differently this time, and I'm going to hedge the upside. Normally we hedge the put side, but I just got to feel that we're not going too much. We're not going to have a huge drop. And if we do, it'll still be fine in this account. So what I'm going to do is go to the call side. I'm going to buy it and see how much it costs to buy at the 30 delta there. All right, so that's going to be $30. And that's a potential. Let's just see if we can get filled really quickly. All right, so that's the 30 there, and we're still not going to get filled, so we're going to cancel that. We're going to go back and we're going to move it just one more, and we're going to move, instead of the 30, we're going to go to this 28 here, and we're going to buy that, and we're going to see if we can get filled. And no love. I don't need to force it, so I'm just going to let that sit and see if we get some type of pullback later. Don't need to force it because I'm doing the call side there, so I'm fine with that. All right, so going back to Square really quickly here, going back to Square and looking at what we were talking about last night, looking to get bullish on Square, or maybe even Adobe, because Adobe has some earnings this week, but I like this short-term trade as well. So let's look at this 14 delta here, selling that, and let's see what happens if we sell this 3-point wide spread, 250. Let's see if we can get 250 for it. Let's look for that. I always try to get at least $50. So let's go like that. And so we'll get 55 over 344. That's about 16%. Let's see if we can get filled on that. And then let's go and look at that Adobe that we were talking about yesterday. Let me just make sure I remember the symbol on that one really quickly. All right, so ADBE. Adobe has earnings coming out tomorrow. Thursday after the bell. So what I'm thinking is, if we go long this and try to get out even before the bell hits, so that SPY call side hedge got filled, everyone, at that 28. But that's what you just saw right now. All right, so now I'm going to look at the AMD chart here. I just want to see what it's doing today really quickly. ABE, this is Adobe, excuse me. I want to see what it's doing. All right, it's up as well, just like everything else. All right, so I just have a feeling it's going to be a little bullish on this one here. And so let's go to the 15 delta as well. This is going to be the 14 here. Let's look at this. All right, so this is a $30 spread. That's not great. And this is a $5 spread here, and that's $68. And let me see, that's 55. Just see how far that's away percentage wise. It's 455 minus 496 divided by 496. That is 8% away. The expected move right now is 32. So let's say 496 minus 32. We got this to the 464. If this goes up tomorrow, goes up a little bit Thursday because people are expecting decent earnings, then we can probably get out of this at 50% before even earnings come out. So what I'm going to do is put this at 70, see if we can get filled, and I like this little short-term trade here. All right, so sending that, and we're going to let it play for a second, and if we get filled, then great. So all right, so we got filled on the ES put spread. We got filled on the SPY hedge. When we decided to hedge the opposite side, we decided to hedge the call side, just in case we get a little bump up the rest of this week. That's fine. And then we're looking at, we put something on a square, and square looks like it's not going to give us any love right now. I like that somewhat. I like that trade idea that Robert was talking about last night. Rick brought this up, and he was talking about, we were looking at further out. But I like this and would like to get this trade at 136. Let's look at what happens if we put this at the 15 delta, see what happens, see if we can get out of this as well pretty quickly. All right, so what I'm going to do is cancel that square one here and see if we can put it at the 15 delta. We were doing a 4-point wide spread. So let's see if we can put it at the new 15 delta. Did I cancel the wrong thing? No, I didn't. All right, awesome. So this is interesting. You see that this Adobe is saying, it was saying 80 and we were asking for 70. We could get filled here quickly. We'll see. Let's clear this. Why is that showing that way? This makes no sense. All right, probably because it's still that order there. All right, so let's go back to the square with 10 days to go, and let's look at this was a second ago, this was the 15. So let's see if we can get it at, and it's already, unfortunately, it's already had its run here today. That's frustrating. Could have got a good little trade in really quickly. All right, so that's $50 at that, and I don't like it. All right, we're gonna wait until we get some type of pullback today, and that's probably not trading right. So let's put this at 53 and see if we can get at least $50 after fees and commissions. All right, so if it has a pullback a little today, then we'll get filled just like we did on the other stuff. Otherwise, we're just going to let that sit. So let's just look really quickly on what we have working here. We have this square. We want to get filled in there. We have this Adobe. We would like to get filled in there, but we're not going to force it. And then we did get filled in SPY, the ES, and then other ES that we took off. And then we're trying to get filled in this QQQ just to take it off. We'll see if we get maybe a small little pullback today. This will get filled as well.